Okay. Hello, guys. Sorry, I'm again a bit frazzled because I just came from another studio meeting because I'm still doing my studio at Politecnico di Milano, so I'm like a bit all over the place. Also, don't wonder why my mic is turned off. I have to connect an external mic that is the second Maria on the screen, but it's still me talking, so don't be surprised. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I'm just gonna give everyone the benefit of 5 minutes, as always, because we're very generous here. So, and then I will begin introducing our amazing guests, as always. And of course, this is a party workshop since we are at number 10. I can't believe we're in the 10th workshop already. It felt like it went by so fast. I couldn't even imagine that it would be such a great series that we've created over here. Yeah, and also I have some really cool news to do that I want to announce later at the end of the workshop. So stay tuned. That involves everyone who's been participating in the AI workshop series. So if you want to know what that news is, definitely stay until the end because I'm going to announce it at the end. But while we wait, I'm always curious where everyone's coming from. So if I know a lot of people are from Germany, which is where I'm also in right now and where I'm from. But if someone is coming from somewhere else, our guests are from Australia, which is why we're here at 10 a.m. again. Usually we do this in the evening. But if you're from somewhere else, I'm definitely curious to hear what countries you guys are all joining from. It's a very diverse field. Also, as always, our groups is split between two. So half of the people are on YouTube that don't want to talk to us, and half of the people are here that do want to talk to us. So if you're here, get ready to be asked some questions maybe in the
The
end.
people are commenting. Someone is from Australia, we have Spain and India.
Wow, a lot
Yeah,
of different countries.
yeah, that's good.
Oh, a lot of people from Australia. Nice. You guys are giving me such a huge Australian audience. I would have never reached so far. But yeah, guys, if you couldn't tell by now, the two other people with their camera on except me are our lovely guests, which is Elvin and Hamza. So Hamza, you already know, he is the guest that was featured on the most popular AI workshop so far
Yeah.
because he's
Thank
also
you,
doing
man.
the best marketing for it, to be honest, but much
Yeah.
better than me. But I'm very excited to have him back on. And then also he brought a friend, which is Elvin. And I'm going to introduce both of them in 1 second. I have a whole slide about it. But yeah, guys, so I think we are filling up. Let me check from 1 second because that is where the live stream is, and I just want to make sure it runs correctly. Okay, let me check. Okay, people from France. Okay, lovely. Okay, without continuing this further, I will just begin, and whoever joins later is welcome to join later. But as always, thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited, and this is round X. So this is Roman numerals, but this is round 10 of the AI workshop series. Where we learn how to use AI in architecture. We went from anything from Adobe Firefly, Midjourney, and now we're at the most hyped AI yet, which is Nano Bananas. And I'm really excited to hear about that. But we do not have just that today. Today we have a whole interesting workshop planned for you, so get ready for that. And of course, we're joined by two, not one, amazing guests today. So, a little agenda of what we're going to do today. Of course, first we have the welcome by me, and then I'm gonna explain again what the series is about. Then a little bit also about why we should use AI beyond visuals and what the ideas of this whole workshop. Then I'm going to introduce our lovely guests, and then we go over. I hand it over to them, to the much smarter people in the workshop, as always. I like to say, and then they do their demo, and at the end we have some discussion and closing. Which the closing is also an exciting part, so please stay for the end because I have a little announcement. Sorry. So about the series. If you're here for the first time, the AI and Architecture series is a series that I founded to help architects understand AI. So the goal is to use their architecture education to learn about new tools, to experiment with AI without guilt or without confusion, because this is a free workshop series for students and architects. And I've also done a bunch of previous rounds. We've had guests from PA Academy, from Hector AI, and other cool professionals that use AI on a daily basis. And in this specific round, we're going to be talking about how to go from concept 3D model to something that is a whole storytelling. So we're going to see some animation, we're going to see some real project development with AI, which I think is really cool. If you, a little bit of self promo here before we begin. You can watch all the previous AI tutorials on my YouTube channel. You can just Google my name on YouTube, or you can also scan the QR code, and then you will find all of the workshop series and also a bunch of other videos I make. I also talk to architects about like how to get a job in architecture, like how to win a tender. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out the YouTube. Because that helps support this channel and it helps me make better content, to be honest, because the more subscribers, the more I can grow the channel and the more opportunities it gives me and this platform. Okay, so let's talk about why we should use AI beyond the visuals. I talk about this every time, but I think it's so important to remember that AI is not just like a quick rendering tool. It's something that can make our lives as architects so much easier. It helps us be much faster in our processes. If you integrate it correctly, it can help you create great analysis graphs. It can also make you test out different ideas super fast, which is what I mean with enhanced iteration speed. And of course, it can lead to a more informed design strategy because since when architects start using tools like ChatGPT and other chat-based AIs, they're able to get so much information about specific sites, information from online so fast that it's much easier to make a great design without having so many trial and errors, which is the most time-consuming part of being an architect. So instead of just focusing on making beautiful renders with AI, we should think about how it can transform our whole profession and just make our lives easier and help us make more informed decisions as professionals. So now I'm going to go on to our guest. We do have two guests today, as I said, and guest one is new here. So I'm going to introduce him first. Sorry, Hamza, but this is
Yes.
Elvin Chatergon. He's a senior associate at Jackson Clemens Burroughs in Australia. He has 20 plus years of international architecture experience across London, Melbourne, and Perth. And he was also the one helping and being responsible for the London Olympic Games plan in 2012, if you guys remember. I know we have a lot of Gen Z people here too. I was 8 when that happened, but it's still good to know that you were participating in that, and definitely someone who's a real professional who's been in the game for 20 plus years. And of course, with the lean on sustainable housing. Sorry, I forgot to say that. Okay, and what is his job today? So Elvin is actually going to be the one who's going to be talking about how AI can really help support decision making and project feasibility. So he's going to talk about the challenges, maybe some opportunities you can have as someone who's starting to use AI, who's been in the practice for a long time. And we're also going to talk about where its limits lie and maybe how we can use it for sustainable design. But that is going to come in a second. And then, of course, we have Hamza. You guys already know him. I don't think I have to introduce Hamza a lot, but he's an architect from Cox Architecture, also in Australia. 12 plus years in master planning and urban design, of course. He also just won an incredible award, which I would like you to mention later. But he's always passionate about design and technology. If you follow him on LinkedIn, you know, every day there's like a crazy new Mid-Journey animation that I'm like, how did you even do that? But we're going to find out how he does it in a second. And today, what
Yeah,
he's
thank you,
responsible.
Maya, for the introduction.
Yeah, and today he's going to be responsible for doing a little of a demonstration, involving Nano Banana and also Mid-Journey animation, something that's been requested from him and also from me for a while. And I think it's going to be super interesting to then have Hamza do the demonstration and Elvin give his perspective and just a really interesting insight on how someone so deep in the industry can use AI and understand. So now we go into the live demo segment, and I think without further ado, I should probably hand over to our guests because this is the interesting part, guys. Okay, 1 second. Where's the Zoom? Okay, so you guys can go ahead now.
Yeah, I think it's Elvin who wants to start first, so I'll let Elvin talk. And he
Yeah,
has some insights he wants to share about the construction industry in Australia.
Amazing.
yeah. So I guess the first part of it is I'll just do a little bit of talking just to lay the groundwork for the amazing workshops that Hamza's going to show everyone, which I know everyone's looking forward to, myself included. So thanks very much, Marie, for that lovely introduction. So yeah, I'm an architect with 20 plus years experience. So I'm here representing a lot of senior architects who are at my level, 20 plus years experience. So quite a way from when I graduated. So maybe similar to some of the people on the podcast. So I actually graduated in Europe as well. I graduated in England, and then I worked in London for 5 years. A lot of that time was on the London Olympic Games. The funny thing is, back then everyone was using probably software like Rhino and MicroStation, and very hands-on. Now everyone uses Revit, and we need to talk about what AI tools we're now going to be using instead to generate the same 3D graphics. What was pretty amazing about London actually won the Olympic Games over Paris in 2005. Everyone thought Paris was going to win the Games master plan. London won it because London had the best 3D visuals. So there was animations about how the whole of London was going to transform with all of these, things like the Olympic Stadium, which would transform after the games, and bridges that would then transform from a double bridge to a single bridge. And it was all animated, and it was amazing. Foreign office architects who are no longer foreign office architects, they had a huge hand in that. And the amount of manpower used to do all that work was horrendous. People were doing all-nighters and all that. And when you look at Hamza's work later, the sort of project in Dubai that he's done would have probably taken a team of maybe about 5 people, 20 years ago, kind of thing. So this is something we need to sort of really take interest in and learn how to use, I think. So yeah, I'm now living in Melbourne. I, like a lot of senior people my age, I've got 2 kids, and I have a huge interest in AI. I don't have a massive amount of time to spend on using AI, so I've dabbled with it, but I find great value in talking to people like Hamza and other people at Jackson Clement Burrows Architects as well, who are using it. So I represent a lot of seniors who can see the practical, the sort of, I guess, the practical value in AI. And even if we don't get time to use it now, we want to learn from the people that use it really well, and then eventually be able to use in the future. So AI is good at certain things at the moment in architecture, and it's not good at a lot of other things. So I know that there's quite a few graduates on this podcast. So the stuff that we all love Hamza for, and the stuff which I know excites Maria, and Maria's also very good at as well, is a lot of the front end stuff. It's about how you produce the amazing design competition winning graphics. In architecture, in real practice, that's probably about 5% of what we do. So it will help you to a certain level, but there's still that 95% of the work that most architectural practices do, which AI so far it's still a long way to go in terms of really trying to, I guess, get practices to use it, but also AI being able to do what, say, I want it to do as well. So I've had some small experiments in ChatGPT initially, which is obviously a large language module, very limited capability. It will produce a floor plan that's just a piece of graphic. The more interesting software which we're looking at the moment is Finch, which is a plugin to Revit. And so we are doing some early investigations, or rather some of us are, and looking at how that sort of is going to work practically. Still a long way to go. And I think probably most architects have used things like ChatGPT, DALI, or DALI, I don't know how you actually pronounce it, and Midjourney, Nano, Banana, which are all pretty excellent sort of front end tools. I had a good chat with Hamza about this last week, and I think people even maybe 10 or 15 years older than me and Hamza, right now they're not going to use AI to do their design work. And I think that the thing with AI at the moment is it's not very accurate. So architects demand a high degree of accuracy. So AI can get you very roughly, something, but the level of accuracy architects demand at the moment just isn't quite being met by AI.
I
So I
think
think that's, yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
we're getting there with the accuracy. Like when I had my last workshop with Maria, we didn't have anything like Nano Banana, and we were talking about like just basic prompts and images. But if when you'll see Nano Banana, you'll see that it gets very accurate results. It gets close to accurate. Like obviously, it's not good enough where you're talking about construction and documentation. But in term, previously, we were just generating random images, and then we were taking them. We were using Rhino and other things to model those designs. But now there are so many AI tools which can take those images and you can generate different views for one image you like. You can generate different images. You can do animations for the same image, and you can also there are AI tools which can give you random models. And ChatGPT can also generate a AutoCAD files for you for the building you like or for the image you like. So I think they're getting close, but they're still not there. Like as you're saying, they're still not
Mm.
there, but getting close to a point where we can take dimensions or extract information from them.
Yeah, I think that's critical. I think once it gets to a reliable stage, I think it's pretty amazing that they can produce DWG files now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's still some hesitation in terms of the sort of accuracy. I think that there's still quite a lot of people who still from the hand drawing generation, and they're used to sort of the jump to Revit was quite big, and then I think the jump again to AI to sort of to sort of accurate measurements is then another leap. But I think within our lifetimes, I think it's really going to get there. And I think it really is about understanding the prompts, as you say, Hamza. So I think that the tools that you're using and that I'm starting to use are probably the right ones. And I think it's a matter of how quickly it can meet our demands, and and I think they have to engage closely with what architects want. And I think problem at the moment is not enough architects are using it. I think podcasts like this need to encourage architects, between my age and Hamza's age and beyond, to try and really use it. So I think they need more of that user feedback
Mm-hmm.
to really accelerate the growth of AI in architecture. So I sort of think that there are things. So I'll kind of move beyond the graphics. I think that what I'm interested in is this might be a few stages beyond. I'm talking now going quite a few years ahead of graduation. So it's once you're on site and you're using extranets, like in Australia, Aconex is quite heavily used.
Mm-hmm.
There's a senior guy at our work who is regularly up until 10 o'clock at night, who's basically just doing repetitive tasks, uploading on Aconex. There's also Procore and very repetitive tasks, and that's where an agentic AI would be really quite useful.
Mm-hmm.
To actually, you just tell it, rev up these drawings, upload, supersede, rev up from issued for information to construction. I want to only issue interior design documentation, not facade, not architectural, and it just does it. That's where people of my experience want it to be. Those will actually help. The 95% I've talked about, that's going to help that. Maybe kind of 40% of that 95%. And those tools at the moment, it's probably not the Nano Bananas and the Mid Journeys. So that's where we got to look at some of the things like potentially how Microsoft Power Automate evolves, or it could be something else. It could be the evolution of Finch or something. So those are the tools to really watch out for, which will help the practical side of things. I'll just sort of say probably one more thing before I think we really want to see Hamza's work. But I love seeing what we all do. Behind me is actually Hamza's work. I'm in Hamza's workshop right now.
I was
This is
gonna
all
ask
AI
that. I was like,
generated.
do you just have a crazy studio behind you, or did Hamza do that?
No, so it's hard to imagine, but I'm actually sitting in my daughter's room at the moment because our office is taken up downstairs.
Oh no.
So that's the power of AI. No, this is all Hamza's work behind me, and obviously we all love seeing it, and I love seeing kind of the things that Hamza generates, and yourself, Maria, as well. But then once you take it to practice, it's like, okay, right, well, I mentioned that sort of still grappling with accuracy and getting it to do exactly what you want without spending almost months of training, which some firms are starting to invest into. It's like, where are the real uses of generating a quick design where it doesn't matter if it doesn't get you exactly what you want? And there are things like structure plans and things like that that architects do where you have to quickly come up with, say, a concept for a city. So some of the larger practices will they'll do a lot of master planning and what we call structure plans, and where you don't have time to design all the buildings, but you know what heights they're going to be roughly and what you're going to put forward. But you also need to convince a local council or some authority that these will look remotely like a design building. And I think those are where I can see right now with my work at, say, JCB or anyone else I'm talking to. I think that's where I can see like an immediate use for the kind of things that Hamza's doing at the moment, before it gets to that stage where we're comfortable with AI designing buildings that we can propose to a client at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, look, I think I've probably said enough. I think I've held everyone back enough from seeing Hamza's
No.
workshop. So yeah, I mean, maybe we'll do questions at the end
Of
potentially, but
course,
I
yeah.
think it's going to be quite a conversation. I might even jump in as
Hmm.
Hamza's talking. He seems to have
He's rejoining,
left.
yeah.
He's going to rejoin,
But
probably to
that's super
screen share.
interesting. If I can just share my 2 cents. Obviously, I'm not a practicing architect yet. I'm a master's student. But I think the real difference I see between like students using AI and then professionals like yourself using AI is we as students have like almost zero doubts. It's like, oh, cool, new tool. And then you just like, you start using it. And then you start talking to professors and professionals, and they're like, oh, maybe no. And then we're like, oh, why? But it's such a cool new tool. I want to try to implement it in my projects. And there's a huge disconnect there that happens between young professionals that are as excited about it as people were for AutoCAD in the 80s, and then older professionals that are like, oh no, maybe we should have some reservations. So I'm really glad you're here because you can really share that realistic perspective. Because you can always tell that a render was enhanced by AI, unless it's like some crazy AI I don't know about, or maybe Nano Banana will change my mind. But you can always tell a little bit, and I'm always wondering: is there some kind of reservation then that professionals have when they see like, oh, this architect uses AI, like, oh, they used AI for this render? Like, do you look down upon that as a professional architect, or is that something you're like, oh, cool, nice, I want to do that too? Like, what's the reaction?
Yeah, I think that we're all creatures of habits, and architects are real creatures of habit. And an architect will become successful and go through, say, 30 years of practice, and presenting to clients and getting successful buildings built by using their own processes. And, there are a lot of people who have won lots of awards and won lots of clients through hand drawings. So they can't see any different. So, you're in a really special place, Maria, and probably other young architects who are mainly using AI, because this will be your tool. You're in your comfort zone. So, but then maybe in, say, 20 years' time, when something else comes along, you might be a bit reserved about it. Maybe, I don't know. I hope not. But yeah, I think it's because it's seen as risky, and I think the majority of senior architects I've spoken to don't want to use it, and they think that we're all wasting our time,
Interesting.
which is
I think
unfortunate.
it's similar in my office. There's a guy who was rendering a context plan, like big urban plan, and he has 2D lines from Revit. I told him I can do this with 2 clicks with Nano Banana. Can you please let me try it? He said, no, I don't trust machines. I don't want to do it. And he spent one day doing it. I just kept telling him, just let me try it. I can do this in 2 clicks. It's your choice. You can do it in Photoshop like the traditional way, or you can use the AI way. He said, no, I don't trust AI. I don't want to use it. I said, okay, up to you. So I think there are some reservations. It's just for me, I don't find it. I find it interesting. It's just like if you have a calculator, you won't do your math any other way. You'll just use a calculator. It's just like that. So for me, AI is a tool. I know if I can do something, machines are there to help you to do your work faster. It's I think people just give me examples, like funny examples. Have you seen Terminator? Have you seen like the whole point of Terminator was the robot came back, don't use technology. Like it sounds very funny to me. I think people will be more understanding of the technology they have, like after they start using them, and it's improving very quickly. So I'm guessing, I think I'll get Elvin's view on it as well. Like, how does he see the architecture practices changing in next few months or 1 or 2 years? Because the amount of work, like I know the 3D rendering guy, the people who do 3D renders in offices, they might not be required in near future because everybody will be able to do it using AI. And then as I'm saying, we can produce Rhino models very quickly, maybe have some AutoCAD drawings. So how does he see architecture practices changing? Will he see them
Yeah.
shrinking in size because we have tools which can do a lot of work very quickly now?
Yeah, I actually get worried about the 3D visualization consultants because I think
Rest in
that
peace.
say again, sorry, Marie.
I said rest in peace.
I know it's quite sad because they're very talented individuals and
Mm.
they'll pull all-nighters and do amazing work. But I think sadly, I think that there will be a sort of time. Yeah, I think it's probably time, well, or maybe even for them to start grappling with AI and then sort of looking at how they can offer value. But yeah, I do worry a bit. And I think that like we use, I think is it D5, the rendering
Yeah.
software.
Yeah,
Yeah,
D5
we
Maria
use.
has done some tutorials on it as well.
It's great. I love it.
Yes,
Yeah, and it's really good. It's probably how a lot of architectural practices, probably the good ones, produce their sort of presentation work. But I think even that, even I'm sure D5 is probably on its last legs. We might use say two graduates or students to sort of do that, and we won't need that anymore. But I think it will shift towards the graduate just being able to sort of put a prompt, and it will take half an hour as opposed to a day. So I definitely think it's going to. I think certain segments will shrink. I think in the front end, I think in terms of the production of presentation material, I think that side will shrink. I don't think that the design concept generation side of things is going to shrink just yet. I think it's
I
going to
like
take a
to
big leap.
someone, Sylvia in chat, I think he or she has mentioned that the IP about the IP and the privacy, because I work for Cox Architecture and we are a big company and we are not allowed to use any external AI on our projects. So it's the same reason because we don't want, because sometimes we work on some confidential projects, could be in hospital, could be a defense project. We are not allowed to use external AIs, and Cox has started developing their own in-house interface, but they're still using external AIs. But I think the purpose is because their data is secure. Now, I know the small firms might not be able to do it. So it's just, I think this is one way to get around to keeping your data in-house and it doesn't become a public knowledge because obviously they use your data to train their AI models.
Yeah, that's right.
I was just gonna point out that question because that is something I also get asked about. Like, how do you deal with that in an office? And the only answer is like building your own agents and then dislocate you. I know you can also dislocate ChatGPT from the main network and you can store local data on it, like you can download it. And I think that's what a bunch of people have been doing too. Like that's obviously IP is a huge problem and also a big reservation you should have before you upload stuff into ChatGPT. But there are ways to keep it local and to also still have it stored on the cloud rather than on the main OpenAI server. So that is a good question, actually. Thank you. I think we should
Thank you.
get on to the demo
Yeah,
because I'm getting
definitely.
impatient. I need to see some nano banana over here.
Share. So I'll send request for sharing my screen.
Okay. Should be good.
Can you all share? Can you all see my screen now?
I can't yet, but
Oh, sorry, I'll just try again. Now?
I don't see it. Does anyone else see it? No. Can you
I'll
request it
just.
again, or is that?
It
Oh
says
wait, now I
yours.
can. Now it works. Hold on. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
we're
Okay.
good.
Cool. Okay. So I think Nano Banana to use. I want to discuss 4 different AIs today. I'll probably focus more on Nano Banana because that is what everybody wants to know about. It's the most famous one. So. And the second one would be Copilot. I started using Copilot at work because I wasn't allowed to use external AIs. So Copilot is part of, you can find it in Teams, it's from Microsoft. It's very similar to Nano Banana in terms of sometimes the results it gives. So I'll just quickly show you, this is Copilot within Teams. Now Copilot is mostly for documents and stuff, but you can use it for images as well. I'll just discuss like for 5 minutes in Copilot because very similar to Nano Banana in a lot of things. And the other one I want to discuss is Meshy AI. Let's spend 2 to 3 minutes on it. It's very self-explanatory, but we can take images we have generated from Nano Banana and we can generate our Rhino models from it. So 1, 2, and the third one, and obviously the fourth one is Midjourney. So Midjourney, I was using a lot for images initially, but since we have Nano Banana, I've started using Midjourney less for images and more for animation because Midjourney can do a lot of different things, but I like it a lot for the flexibility it gives with the animation. For Nano Banana, there are 2 ways to use it. The easy way is you go to Google Gemini and it's opening, and then you have this banana over here, create image, and you can just start using, and it says describe your image, you can describe your image and start using it. So this is the easiest way to use Nano Banana. The second one is through Google AI Studio. I just write so that in Google AI Studio. The second way is through Google AI Studio. It has it gives you some more control. Like this is Nano Banana over here. So it gives you slight more control over your output because the Google Gemini, even it has no control, so it's easy to use, and you can use it from your phone as well. This one in Google AI Studio, it has.
Oh wait, Hamza, I think something happened to your mic because it just
You
stopped.
listen to me now?
Oh, now
Can
it's
you hear
kind
me
of
now?
better. That's better. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay, sorry. Yeah. So I'll just quickly go through all the controls we have here. They are very self-explanatory. So as it says, I've selected Nano Banana, and then we can add some extra instructions about the different style of image we want. Temperature is about creativity in responses. Obviously, I think one is more, and the lower you go, it means it's less creative and follows your model more. Aspect ratio is obviously the size of image you want. I'll just go for 16:9 because it looks good on computers. I think for Instagram or for other social media, people use 9:16, but for computers, 16:9 is pretty good. In advanced settings, I think I've never really messed around with advanced settings, but I think we can try them out if you want. I'll just quickly start with the workflow now for Nano. I think everybody is more interested in We can write a prompt, we'll get an answer, but I think everybody is more interested in rendering their Rhino models. So I'll start with that. You can try different prompts, like you said, design a birthday card, you can do that. You can write a prompt and get an answer. But I think everybody is interested in rendering their models, so I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a plus sign. You click on it, upload file, reference images. I have this meshing model over here I've done in Rhino. I've used it for some of my animations before, so I'll just use this very basic. After you have logged in plans, like Elvin knows, when you have your plans logged in, you do a meshing model, and now you are looking for different ideas. So a basic, we call it white card model. Now I'll just start. I think it's internet is slow, probably still uploading, I think.
I wanted to ask also,
The,
I've seen some people on Instagram also say you can create like sections and views in Nano Banana and
oh
they're like good
yeah.
and
So
accurate.
we are getting there. Yeah. I
Oh,
think
oh
they
my
are
God.
sections are they're not accurate. They are good representation of what you want. They're not, I won't say they're accurate. And I've tried to put levels on elevations, but because it's an image generation tool, so it puts some numbers on it, but they're not accurate numbers. They just random, it just puts random numbers and lines in the images. So I'll just start writing a prompt. I've written some prompts, so I'll save some time on that. So in terms of prompt, a lot of friends in office and other people, they say, I'm using the same tools that you, but I'm not getting the same results as you. They don't look as good as you. So I think the difference is your prompt. I know there's a guy in my office, he does a render and he just puts them into Google Gemini and asks them, make it stunning. He uses D5. He asks Google Gemini, make it stunning or make it amazing. It's a very simple prompt, but it improves the lighting, it improves the reflection slightly, or it adds people or add trees and it makes it nicer. So it's a good tool in those sense. So I'll just run this prompt. I've given it a prompt that it is a six-story apartment building in Barcelona. Show people on street. At golden hour lighting is a sunset or sunrise lighting with a Canon Mark 5D camera. So it's giving me time and it's doing something. Yeah. I found that this Google AI Studio takes slightly more time than Gemini. So this is our result. And because I didn't tell it about facade, I didn't tell any info, I didn't give it any information. And it has just generated me a random image from street with people on street and some evening light or could be morning light. Now I want it to be a glass building with balconies. So I just want, now we can very easily change context with another prompt. I can say, I wrote Barcelona, I can write Milan. I think Maria is in Milan these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been following your Instagram. So, so we can very easily with a prompt just change context. Or I've just because I've written it, I want to change facade. I want it to be a glass building. So you can see, oh, it's not very nice glass building. So, and you can see it has made it into a box instead of following my original form. It has just gone to a boxy building. So this is the creativity control. You can reduce this control slightly so that if you want it to follow your model. So from here you have another option. For example, I like an image and I can do branch from here. So it will open a new tab and I'll go to a new chat and I can take that particular result further. I don't like
That
any of these
that
results.
that's something
Okay.
ChatGPT is starting to do as well, isn't it? I can't recall the
Yeah,
what it is, but you
ChatGPT
can
is
take
getting
branches. Mm.
Mhm. Is getting very good at this stuff, but I think if you're using a free version, there's a limit to how much you can use. In Nano Banana, it can let you do a lot based on like it's I think ChatGPT is free and it's very slow in terms of image generation. Nano Banana is
Uh,
slightly faster and
I,
it's
what,
more free, I
what
guess.
what I meant was in terms of branches. You know, when
Yeah.
you're given options, it generates an option for you, and you
Hmm.
don't lose your option. You can take a branch. It generates
Yeah.
you know idea one, idea two, idea three,
Mm.
and then previously you would lose idea one if you went with idea three, but now you can
Mm.
keep all of them,
Yeah,
and you
all the
can
ideas,
just in the same way that.
So
I've
our
just got
previous
I've got a
chat,
question once you finished.
sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. I have a previous chat over here if I want to jump back to the previous one, but I wanted to show like as I reduce the creativity level, it followed my original form slightly more. Instead of previously it was just making a box. Now it has followed my original form with the way I was showing balconies. It has followed it slightly more. And
I've
in
got a
terms of
question then.
context, yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of a lot of this is sort of facade generation. Can you ask
Hmm.
it to split the building into say 4 apartments per floor plate or five, and turn balconies into say I need every balcony to be minimum 6 to 8 square meters, or maybe 4 square meters,
Now, I think
and
the tools you're talking about is the Finch, which is like you mentioned, it's a Rivet plugin. Those tools are more good for that. This is more for image generation and for it's a generative AI, so it's for image generation and just quickly to go through your ideas. It's very good for urban planning and urban design in terms of architecture. We can do a lot with interiors, we can do a lot with exterior renders, but in terms of planning, these tools are not good for those stuff. Finch or there
yeah.
are other tools which are better for plans and other things.
Yeah, so for ideation, so this would be good
Hmm.
for master planning, structure plans, where you
Hmm.
don't need to design. You don't want your building to be designed to to a level of detail.
Yeah. So I said if I want it to be a riverfront building, but it just flooded the streets. So I'll just try more. I make it. I write some basic. Oh, it's not writing anything. Now for the same massing model, I want to try a slightly different prompt, and I just want to compare it. I have made a presentation which I can share later. I'll tag Maria so people who are following Maria they can look at these images. So I have done a Rhino model, the same model I'm using. So I've written some prompts here, like when I was trying by myself because I wanted some good outcomes. So I said, give me a glass building. So it did this for me. This was in Barcelona. And then I went back and I was like, I don't want full glass because I was thinking it's a resi building. So I wanted some glass and some solid parts. And then I gave it very specific instructions to make one of the concrete panel into a perforated metal panel. So it did that for me. Like it picked up this is white part is concrete and it changed to the perforated panel. So I'll just check what. So see, it's similar thing happened. It just made all glass. I'll just make it. I just ask it to make it nicer. So you can add your whole prompt in one go, but I think what has worked for me better is if I go step by step. If I want to make it a glass, I'll make it a glass building, and then if I want some solid parts, I'll ask it to make one floor solid and the other one glass. So I'll just try a different prompt just to show how your results can vary, but try a different prompt. Just doing something for this image. I didn't do much, but I'll just start a new chat. New chat is, yeah, new chat. I'll take same massing model and I'll just write a more precise because I want to talk about camera, I want to talk about lighting, and I want to talk about the inspiration I want ultra realistic low angle render of a 6-story building. Now I mentioned the word Zaha Hadid because whenever I'm looking for more curvy architecture, curvy forms. I just mentioned the Hadid, or you can add your own favorite architect. Located near Yarra River in Melbourne, early morning light, street perspective. And now I've added Melbourne trams, leafy trees. Like there's a lot more detail in this prompt than my previous prompt. So I'll share all of these prompts later and I'll share on Insta and I can tag Maria. You can check on her profile. So high quality architecture with reflections.
Do we have to quit our jobs now? Because this my issue always with AI renders is it changes part of the 3D model, but that changed like almost nothing. With the
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
the second one you did, I was like, damn,
Hmm.
do I just go now? Like, is it
Yeah,
over?
yeah, I was thinking the same. Do I really need to learn D5 anymore? Like I can
Do you,
quickly plug
Hamza?
in image.
Because you're the one that's
Yeah.
doing this.
Oh, I think this has taken some creativity over here, but I'll show you the results I got at home. Not at home, like I'm at home. So the results I got previously. So I had this image, I wrote the same prompt, and it followed my form very closely. You can see I think it's a change the place where it's taking the view, but you can see this part is over here. So it has taken inspiration from one of Zaha's architecture building. I think there's so many out there. It has just mixed and matched all of them. And you can see some Melbourne trams and street level views. You can see some water and reflection in them. And
Wow.
it's a very good design. And I think the only difference from this prompt and, and the previous prompt is I added more detail. I added about architect. I talked about architectural style I want. And it just went from a very boxy form to a very nice looking render, which I can probably use for my stuff. So the other prompts I mentioned over here is like as Maria was saying that what it can generate different views from your prompt. I think this is not a very nice image, so I'll just use I think I have this image somewhere. So we can edit this image like for this wasn't my first result when I got this image. This wasn't my first result. Because with AI, your images, your outcomes are not, you don't know you can get any outcome. So that is why I prepared this presentation. So just to show that I had some nice outcome from the same AI. So and then it's just a matter because in workshop we have limited time. So I just want to go through everything. And the next, I have this image over here. Uh, oh, I think it's not there. Yeah, this image. Now, I think the next prompt we can add is that I want a view from the balcony.
If this does it,
Over,
I'm
over,
deleting my degree. That's great.
yeah. Yeah, I think if you have a massive model, you have some plans, you can just render your whole building with the prompt. So now I'm saying, give me a view from balcony of this building, looking over to the city. So let's see what it gives. It gave me a very nice result when I tried by myself. Let's see.
Oh my
And the
God.
good thing about Nano Banana is it remembers the facade.
It
And so
remembers.
yeah. Yeah, so you see,
Oh
it
my
looks like
God.
this building. So it's not a different building. It's showing us the same tram, same buildings, similar kind of buildings around, and it has even kept the same render style. It didn't change.
Ew.
It looks like it's from the same universe. It didn't change your render style. So it's so accurate. Like,
I'm
and
scared.
I can add a person in balcony drinking coffee. So because we like people in our renders, that adds life to the render. So trees are looking nice. So if there's a person in the balcony, so it looks nicer. So there are people who have started adding their own images, their own self. Like I can add my picture and I can add myself into the render very easily with my own picture if you want. So
Wow.
now, yeah. So it's so easy. It's just one prompt. Like I started with my massing model, my Rhino massing model. I had a view from balcony. I have a person in it, and it's keeping the design language. It's not changing anything. It's just added a person in. Now we
Uh,
will shift. Yep.
I just a quick one. Just 30 seconds. So, in terms of the practical implications in practice right now, I think probably most firms will design the building themselves.
Hmm.
So I think that probably the criticism of what would be happening there is it's getting the positions of architects like to mold exactly where the forms work and the size of balconies and all that. I reckon they would probably at the moment choose to design buildings themselves. However, the speed that you can get people on there and the context and all of that, I reckon that practices could almost do that straight away. So I think that's like an instant,
Yeah. I think
practice
I think
value.
I look at more as an iteration tool. I don't see it as something you can use to construct buildings. Like even you can do that, I think, at some point. But I see it as an iteration tool. Like to make this image, like 5 years ago, it will take us, you know how much time it will take us. We'll need a rendering guy, we'll need a guy doing 3D modeling. And in the end, we'll say, oh, I don't like this image. I want a new building design. But with AI, it just took me like maybe in 2 minutes, I have this design. I'm looking at the views from balcony. Now I have an aerial view. I just say I want an aerial view of this building, and it just generated the whole context, the whole city around the building, and gave me an aerial view. So
Can I ask
it
something
is
about
that.
that, the area view? Because we have a great question also again from Sylvia. Can you geolocate to get accurate context? Like, can you say this is the street, this is the house, and then it does
I,
that?
yeah, I think you can try because this won't be accurate. The other ways you can go to your Google Earth and you can mark up an image and you can put your building on Google Earth image. There's one way to do that because AI just I can try a different city. Like I want my building in what city do we want to try more? Paris? I usually do Paris because it has Eiffel Tower, but
Hmm.
it won't be geolocated. It will try to replicate Paris, like the roofs of Paris, and it will add Eiffel Tower somewhere in the background. So you can get as close as this, or if you want to be very accurate, then you have to go to Google Earth, and then
Yeah.
you can ask it to add your building. You can do a markup on Google Earth image, and you can ask it to add your building onto Google Earth. I didn't do much, I
Mm.
think. So I can talk about that, but then I think it will take 10 to 15 minutes on to talk about how to geolocate exactly. I can do a quick tutorial on that later. I can do a quick video on that for Sylvia, and I can tag Maria as well because I think Maria has to go. So I'll just quickly go through what I prepared for today.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I can do another tutorial later, and then I can tag Maria. I've tagged Maria so many times before.
I'm tagged everywhere now. I don't have enough time to reshare everything. I think you guys
So
should just follow Elvin and Hamza, and then you get to see it. You don't have to
yeah.
go through me.
No, I think a lot of people are here coming through Maya, and I'll tag you so that they're easy for them to find. So what Sylvia is saying, we can definitely do that. We can go to a Google Earth image, and we can ask it to put our building in on that particular site, and it can do that for us. Now I know Google Earth does not have everything in it, but you can do still a lot. So this is very good at doing night renders, and I really love doing night renders, day renders. So it's just a very easy prompt, make it a night render, and it just adds lighting and everything for you.
Wow.
So, and there's a very famous prompt which is going on internet. I'll famous this one, the picture behind Elvin. I'll share this PDF where I've written all the prompts. So this is a very famous prompt. It is usually attributed to. There's an AI content maker called Architect June, AI June. I'm not sure if Maria knows about her. So I think everybody tags her, and I've tagged her as well when I did this prompt or this image. So it just says create a 1 to 50 scale model of your building in balsa wood. And it talks about a Rhino 3D model is displayed with a computer screen next to it and a photorealistic box of the model, handmade model. So there's a Yeah, AR dot June Chow. I think she is very famous in AI content. So she shared this prompt and everybody tags her in the prompt. So I've
Mm.
tested it, and the image behind Elvin is this prompt. Like it's a
Wow.
modification on this prompt.
Interesting.
There you go. So
Oh,
it looks
wow.
like, yeah, I think this is a very nice prompt. So it's the same building. You get which looks like a handmade model or balsa wood model and a rhino screen and a box with Paris Modern Tower. I wrote of Paris. So this is the picture which is behind Elvin. So I just took this prompt slightly further. I said I want 5 different materials. I didn't want computer screen because I'm looking at screens all day. So I said I want it to be a model making workshop. So it generated me the image which is behind Elvin. So I thought I'll share this prompt as well. This is a very nice prompt. Looks very nice.
This is great, yeah.
Yeah.
Can
So
you show?
now,
Oh, I'm so
sorry,
sorry.
yeah,
I didn't mean to
yeah.
interrupt you.
No, sure, please.
From this model, like if I have like I made all this now that you've made, and I say I want to have a view, but one that looks like I made it in, I don't know what people use. I use ArchiCAD, but there's also like other software. Like what is the prompt you would use to go from this render to a view, for example, or a section or something? Or do you have to
Oh
use a
yeah,
3D
so
model?
let's try that.
Yeah.
We can just use a simple render. Can you give me? I'll start with elevation, then we can do section because sections are usually not accurate. Elevation still gets very close.
Okay.
Elevation of this building.
Yeah, section, and it's hard to even get it accurate as a human, so I don't blame it.
I think it can still get you some basic facade, like if your facade have some setbacks or going in and out, it can still do that for you. But in terms of interior, obviously it does not know your plan, so it just goes very random on interiors.
This is scaring me because like this is the bread and butter that we do, like elevations, sections.
Sections, yeah, elevations. So that is why what I was asking Elvin, because I think the size of architecture practices when AutoCAD and other software comes. So there you go, there's an elevation view. Now I can ask it to
Oh
give
my
me
God.
black lines and white background elevation.
Yeah,
Now,
there's probably something interesting I just want to say at this point. Yeah, because we're working with a builder at the moment who's actually more interested in our Revit model than our drawings.
mhm.
And I think that's a very interesting idea that someone is more interested in our Revit model, the 3D model, than the drawings, because we spend more time on the drawings than other things to get buildings built. So what Hamza's showing there is, something that you put a prompt and then it just gives you the orthogonal drawings which you need to build a building. So we're spending weeks and weeks of an architect's time to draw an elevation, floor plans, sections. So and that's in addition. That time is in addition to the BIM modeling. So I think this has some real implications in the next probably couple of years, maybe less.
Oh yeah, I think it didn't do much. I think it just spent a minute and did nothing. So sometimes it does that. So that is why I'll use Google Gemini for the rest because it gives faster results. I've felt that AI Studio is sometimes slower. So I have this image. So we have seen 2D elevation. I think the next prompt is can can it make it like 2D elevation? But then I'll just talk about next thing because we have an elevation, so we have done that. It's the similar prompt for section. Can you give me a section view of the building? It will give me a section view. So because I'm careful of time, give me.
No, don't worry.
So I'll just open two tabs so that I'm quicker with because when I'm working by myself, I have 2 or 3 windows open. I'm just going through things very quickly.
While you do that, another user commented something really interesting. He's saying,
Yeah.
Hamza, if you want to use Nano, Banana, Meshy, etc. directly in Rhino, you can use RunChat. I don't know if you're using that already. But then he's saying you can cut sections, grab new views directly all from the Rhino model and go back and forth between generating 3D models, grabbing new views, and re-rendering. And he pasted a
Like,
YouTube link. So
oh yeah, I'll have a look into it, but I have not used Run Chat right now, but
I
I'll,
used to
it
do
sounds
that
very
too.
interesting.
Yeah. Thank you guys for commenting all your ideas. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really valuable
ideas,
to have
yeah,
this discussion.
yeah. And I think I'll talk about the next interesting thing you can do with Nano Banana is you can transfer your image style from one to another. And I think architects like sketches more, what I've seen. They don't like photorealistic images. Developers like photorealistic images more because they want to see what their building will look like. But architects or designers, what I have felt, they usually prefer more sketchy style images. So they are more famous with architects. So you can do a style transfer, like you can try it directly, but what happens is I'll share my results here. So what happens is if I ask you to transfer this sketch style, I like this sketch style a lot. One of my friend in office, she has done this painting. So when I ask it directly to go from render to a sketch, it gives me this. But in
Mm,
terms of workflow, when I ask it to make it a line sketch like this, and then transfer the sketch style, it does better job than trying to go directly from here to here. So
mhm.
this is a bit of a workaround, which has worked better for me. So I'll just try over here. So I have a line sketch. So now I want it to color it in this image. So I think this is also an interesting way to use Nano Banana because people have because a lot of people who are uploading images Nano Banana, they use different r- sketch styles and they transfer onto their renders they have produced using Nano Banana, and they look very nice. So you can see I went from this to a white sketch to this. So you can transfer any image style, you can download any image from internet you like, and you can transfer that style to the render you have produced. Because I know, and Elvin will say also tell me that we usually don't like to show clients these finalized renders because they get confused with materials and how it looks like. We always prefer to go with some sketch style renders, especially in the initial meetings when we have clients.
Yeah,
And
100% agree.
yeah. So they get very confused when you show them like fully resolved renders. They get very confused. So it's not a good idea to go with these. We always prefer these kind of renders.
Yeah, they find
And
it too
then
scary if you show them something that looks like a real
yeah,
building too early. Yeah.
they take their calculators out during the meeting. They start calculating cost of the building.
Oh God. Can I ask a question? Do clients like
Yeah, sure.
would you bring a sketch from Nano Banana to a client meeting? And if yes, like what do they ever like notice it? Like has any client ever like said like, oh, is this AI? Like have they what is the reaction there? I'm curious.
We have not done that till now. We at Cox in my office, we always because I think we have used at some point to improve the imagery because Nano Banana came out in August. Like last time we had this workshop, Nano Banana wasn't there. It just came out in August. So anybody who has used Nano Banana has not used it for more than 2 months. So it has just came out in August and it's still very new. So we have not really used, but like I'm saying, they have tried to improve their renders using AI, but we have not like generated the whole forms and all ideas just by using AIs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
it's still quite new. A lot of
mhm.
people are still doing hand sketches. Like I think what most practices do is they'll design a building and then someone will sketch over a SketchUp model.
Mhm.
That's what we'll do. But
Wow. Life hack.
yeah, exactly.
And
But I think in time it will. Yeah.
I quickly want to share another use of Nano Banana. Like this is a picture of my house, which is like any house in Australia. And me and my wife have always been talking about having a home office over here. So I took a picture from my phone and then I asked it, I want a home office here, and it just made a home office for me. So you can you can take picture of any room in your house You can take some IKEA furniture, any furniture you like online, and you can ask it, can you redesign my room based on this furniture, can put this sofa in my room, and it will do it for you. So this is my house, like, which is, as Elvin will tell you, like any typical house in Australia in any suburb. So it just generated a nice home office for me. So it's just, for example, sometimes you're walking around city, you look at a building and you're like, oh, maybe this building will look nice if there was more timber or more brick in it. You can take a picture, you can ask Gemini, Nano Banana, can you add more bricks to it or change the material, and it will do it for you very quickly. So it was just one prompt and it did it for me. And then, sorry, I have too many windows here now. So I think there are other uses for Nano Banana. They are so because it's very accurate in what it does now. So you can do a lot of things with it. So that is why I prepared this presentation where I have made a list of things you can do. Because we have limited time now, so I'll quickly jump onto Midjourney. I'll just quickly talk about how to do animations in Midjourney, and I'll share this PDF. Like you can, and I'll talk about Meshy AI as well. So you can take a picture of a building and edit as required, like I've done, and you can take image, like Sylvia was just saying, I've written over here, you can take your render, put in a context in Google Maps by using markups and prompts. So I can share this PDF I can do a page where I'll talk about how can you do that. It's very easy to do.
Thank you.
And I'll just come to Midjourney where we'll quickly talk about animations now. So I'll go over here. So the images we have produced. So this is the button. You come here, add images, start frame. I'll talk about start frame and end frame later, and I'll just upload the two images we have produced. This one and the sketch one. So this is usually very like image. The other way is you can go from day to night. I'll just go from as fast. I'll do one of this. You go from sketch to original render, and the other good one to try is to go from day to night. So it's very easy. The first frame should be the frame you want. I'll try this one. I've tried this building before. So the other one is night image. So you can do the start frame from where you want your animations to start, and the end frame is where you want your animation to end. So it's as easy as that. So
Mhm.
so it's taking some time to do that. I'll just quickly show some of the videos I have done in the meanwhile it's doing that in the background. All my friends are here. So so I'll I'll just it's slightly not architecture, but I'll just show you. See. So I took one image and asked Nano Banana to change it with Iron Man. Then I start frame was me and the end frame was Iron Man. So it just went from there to there. So this is one way to control your images, and I'll see where it goes. It's at 92%. So most of the videos or most of the animations you see how people are going from one image to another and how they are progressing. It's just a start frame and end frame. It's very simple, but I think it's very powerful in the same way. So it gives you 4 results.
Yeah,
So
the
see,
animation
it's
aspect of Midjourney is so incredible
so
because I've
powerful.
been trying
Yeah.
to figure out how to do it with without like AI, how to do like video animations of renders, and it takes a long time. I don't know, with the camera settings and then you pan and then whatever zoom. Like I can do it, but I feel like Midjourney is gonna do a better job than me if you just give it 2 good
Yeah.
frames.
So because it's producing a 5-second animation, so it has I didn't even write any prompt because Midjourney is good in a way. You give it just 2 images and you just do enter and it will just assume on its own what you want. I didn't even write any prompt and it's just going from that image to this one. And animated the people are animated, trees are moving. Good enough. The other way is you can take a zoom in image of your building and you can give this view as the first view and the zoom in as the second, and then it can create the camera can also move. So I can try. I think we produced an image here. No, it's not this one. I'll just show this one. Like you can ask Nano Banana to do a night render and it goes from day to night. It's moving camera in this one. But I think you get the idea that you can go from day to night image very quickly. I think I used two different buildings, so it's getting confused. It's just merging from, it's just going from one building to another.
Mm.
So over here, we went from one sketch style to original render, and you can also go from one image to other and just will do a smooth transition. I have some here I was testing. Anyhow, so for the next part, I'll just quickly talk about Meshy AI. So I'll just so that it's easy to find. So my spellings, Meshy AI. So you can click on the link here. I've already logged in. Oh, you get 300 credits. So you can go image to 3D. It works better if your background of your image is white and you just have your building in it and not the whole context. So, and I don't have, we can create that very quickly.
Wow, workflow in real time. Create the image for AI to create a model.
Yeah, a model, yeah.
This is so fun. Like I'm a little scared of Nano Banana because it's really powerful from what I can tell, like especially the image part. But I'm not scared in terms of like 3D modeling yet. I really resonate with what Elvin was saying, like, oh, maybe we will start prioritizing the Revit models more in the accuracy that it takes, because that is like half of the work, more than half, like 70% of the outcome is from a good 3D model, like a really well constructed one. So maybe we will start putting more prioritization on that, and then because the images can be done so fast.
Yeah, but I think if it can give you from image to a Rhino model or from image to a CAD file, I think we are not very far from where it will start. It's moving very quickly, AI, because a lot of people have interest in it, so it's moving very quickly. I think we are not very far from where the results will get very accurate. And we were just joking in office, like there are 3D printers or robots which they are using to print 3D print buildings. So AI can generate image and can print buildings for you. So what are we doing?
It's just game over at that point. We just all go
Yeah,
and hang out and go to visit galleries, look at the architect, take it
AI
easy for
generated
once.
gallery. Yeah.
Oh no!
yeah. Choose a model to edit. Why is it not editing?
Our profession is going to change so insanely, I feel like, in the next 2, 3 years. I was going to say 5 years, but now I feel like it's even faster. Because I'm going to graduate in 2 years from my master's, and then I feel like at that point it's just going to be a 180 from where we're now. Following that, all this happened in the span of 2 months where I didn't check Nano Banana, and now it's this. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, like I remember last time we were talking about D5 and how to
Yeah.
do renders in D5, and it was, but you've seen how quickly we are getting results from Nano. I can show a video on my LinkedIn. Like when Nano Banana was very new and there was a lot of hype around Nano Banana, I did that video because it takes a bit of time to load at 69%. So I'm talking about Meshy because there are other AI tools which can do this for you. The reason I'm talking about Meshy AI is because you get some free credits. I know there are some students over here, and not everyone wants to spend money on generating Rhino models, which are not super accurate. There are some AI tools which can get very, very accurate, but for testing, for this purpose, I think this one is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is slow at the moment.
Too much AI.
I haven't.
But that always happens to me too, especially once you're hosting the workshop and then no AIs work and it's all slow and you're
Yeah, I
like,
know.
great, why am I even here?
I think I'm clicking too fast.
Even
I have them
LinkedIn's
on my
frozen.
Yeah, I know.
Really
How
quickly,
fun
for
that
those
is.
who joined late on the workshop, you can find the recording of this on YouTube as well. So you will be able to rewatch whatever Hamza and Elvin were doing and talking about. So don't worry if you missed the first part.
So while we are waiting for this, I'll just look for on my computer. Sorry about that. Just found it.
Right.
Everything seems to be not working right now.
No, don't worry. But I see you also made
There you
some
go.
model before. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, so this is what I produced. I did some iteration in my journey. So you can see I'm going from the sketch style image to a real render. Do you guys have audio?
I don't hear it.
Oh, it's fine. Then I'm only hearing it. So
It's fine, yeah.
yeah. So I just asked you to make it a night render, and I wanted a view from balcony. I asked you to add a lady, just give me a picture of a lady.
Wow.
And then we are going from this to a view from the balcony. And I like doing Paris because Eiffel Tower is very iconic. And then some zoomed in images of the apartment
Oh, wow.
and an aerial view for the night render.
You can now pick a specific lady to be in your render. I don't know if you guys were interested in that.
Yeah. So
Specific people.
so this is, sorry, just in the background we had Meshy AI working for us. So I usually like to quickly jump from, I have 2 or 3 tabs open altogether because it takes time. So I don't want to wait. So I'll just jump on another tab and start working over there.
That's fine, no worries. Super interesting. I'm gonna try the Meshy AI. I haven't heard of that before I saw you using
Yes.
it. Ooh.
So this is my Rhino model. If I pay for it, I can download. I think I can still download to unlock. Yeah. So to download, I have to pay them. I might not want to do that. So, so I have my model, but Meshy AI didn't have the information what's in the middle. So it just made it this building, but my massing model had something in the middle. So you can ask it to create textures. It's another 10 points. So it will just start adding all the textures on top of this Rhino model. So you'll have some imagery if you want later on. So in terms of your, like for students, or if you're just testing out some ideas, I think it's not a bad start. You can probably use some of the facade elements. I think you can probably clean up this model even more if you wanted. So I don't think this is a bad, you can even, I think you use this to 3D print this model. So it's not a bad start from there. Like from going from one image, from one idea to 3D printing your model in real life in just few minutes, I think it's not a bad thing, right?
What
very
models
And
can it export then? Is it only Rhino or is it different?
oh, it gives you I think it gives you like which image format you want. Is usually OBG STL, I think the Rhino file format, or it's OBJS. I think it's one of those file formats. It gives you an option when you click download, which format you want to download. See, it's asking for the size of the image and file you want. So FBX, OBJ, FBX has texture information, I think. OBJ is what you can use in Rhino. And STL, I think you can also use in Rhino. I'm not sure about the blend and 3MF. So we just went from a basic image from Google Gemini. Now we have a 3D model and we can print our mesh we can just download our mesh. And very quickly, I want to talk about Copilot because everybody talks about Nano Banana a lot, but Copilot can also do similar things for you. You can upload an image and it can, I've done a project I'll share here. Sorry, I'll just drag and drop the image. So I think this is probably the last thing I'll share today. And the PDF I was just showing, I can share it later with some prompts and some things you can do with Nano Banana. There's a lot that you can still do. So
Thank you so much. I'll reshare it with you guys, either LinkedIn or Instagram story or so. I'll find a way, but
so I did this house for a builder and make it realistic render with bricks. So this is Copilot. It's very similar to Nano Banana. You just give it a prompt and it can do things for you. It's slightly slower with as compared to Gemini, but I want to discuss Copilot because some people like me in offices who are not allowed to use external AIs, and Copilot is inside Teams. So I just use my Teams and I just do some basic renderings of basic images. So I did this project for a builder, and he was saying that maybe I should not say, but he gets charged $250 for one render for one option. So I used Gemini. I did 10 options for him just because I could do it. So I'll
Yeah,
just quickly
Copilot
show.
is a good one for because I think a lot of
Yeah.
architectural firms will be using Microsoft. So
So
yeah,
all of this imagery is a simple house in Melbourne suburb. So you can see all of these options which will come next because it's doing a rendering our image in the background. So all these options I've produced in Copilot.
wow.
And you can give it a picture of a brick and say replace this brick with this picture, and it can do it for you. So I've used Midjourney to move from one image to another, and then I've just produced all of this in Copilot, and this is also Midjourney.
That is
Yeah.
so cool.
So it's still rendering. So you can see this is my Revit elevation, and you can take your Revit elevations, like Elvin was saying, that you want it to be accurate. So you can take your Revit elevation and ask it to give me a realistic image, render with bricks. There it is. Now you can add more detail, like if you want to change brick colors and other things. I think it has slightly zoomed in on the image. So I just want to see that Nano Banana is one option, but it's not the only AI out there. So Copilot is also pretty good. Like it still followed the geometry which was there in my image, and it gave me this image, which is very close to it. So
I think
think
the
we have
compelling
discussed.
thing, yeah, and the compelling
Mhm.
thing about Copilot is that it talks to, it's a Microsoft product, so it
Mhm.
will talk to a lot of the other programs that architects in practice use. Like, everyone uses Word and Excel and PowerPoint and Teams.
Mhm.
So I think the long term probably potential for Copilot in as generative AI, and also then like in the future potentially you could do that, but then it can maybe generate Excel spreadsheet of the fixtures and fittings in the building. So I think
Mhm.
Copilot is actually a really important tool to look at in terms of the whole practice, sort of things that architects do in practice.
Yeah. I think there's one last thing which I think Gemini is very powerful on that. I'll just start a new chat.
Yeah, while Hamza's talking about the other one is Microsoft Power Automate. That's
Yeah.
another important one as well. It's all interlinked.
Just sorry, give me a moment. I'll just quickly find that image.
Yeah, and then if Microsoft create their own CAD software, then they'll take over the world, I think.
So what I have done here is while we were talking, I put an arrow here. It's a very rough markup. And then I'll ask Gemini to give me a view of this bedroom where the arrow is pointing. So this is just to show you can do markups on your images and ask Nano Banana to do it, and it does it for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to get into this Nano Banana. I have been looking at everything, but not had time so far. But there's so many like different tools also. I see people commenting a bunch of different AIs. Like I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you use. It's just try it out, whatever works best for you. Just experiment with tools, you know. It's like how some people use Rhino, some use SketchUp. Like both are good, obviously. Just pick whatever one works for you and
Yeah,
go.
yeah, whatever suits you best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
so
there's no best one, I think.
so this becomes very powerful in a way that you can do a markup that I want a 3D view and just give an arrow, and I didn't give it any other information. I just generated a 3D view from the door looking into the bedroom. So you can see a door here. So it just read the plan and just gave me a view, and it has added a window at the back as well. And then the other one is you can download a mood board, interior mood boards. I think I'll just finish interior mood board because it's so simple to use. So that is why I think it has become so popular among people. So you can download any interior mood board you like from Google, and you can redecorate your bedroom based on that mood.
Oh wow.
Yeah, people have done so many over here. So I'll just test this one. You can also, if you have an image of a table with white background, you can put that table in the image as well. So I think we'll say because it's 1.5 hours, so I think I'll just say this is our last image. But I just want to say that there's a lot you can do with Nano Banana. It's up to you where you want to stop, but you can do a lot with. We have touched on one example with interior design. You can do a lot with urban design. You can add trees and people as you want. So this was an original image. I gave it a mood board, and it has picked up some paintings. And the mirror was rectangular. It picked up the round mirror, and added the round mirror over here. And it added some plants, and it changed the color of carpet based on my mood board over here. So you can pick up any mood board from internet, and you can just start redecorating your room. You can even take a picture of your own bedroom, try a mood board, random mood board from internet, and just redecorate your whole room. So I guess I'll just end over here. We have
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I think I'll definitely try out the mood board thing for maybe some interior renders I have to do next.
Yeah.
That's a really valuable thing, especially because I'm not an interior designer and I don't know how that necessarily works, except in my subjective style. But so I think it's great. You can just download and then check it out and do some variants. So, guys. So as Hamza already mentioned, I do have a little bit of a clash with another meeting I have to go to, but I still want to give everyone time to ask their questions. So if you have any questions specific to what Hamza and Elvin have been talking about, you can ask it now. Also, if you have any questions later, you can, of course, also message me or message them individually on LinkedIn. I know, Elvin, I don't think you have an Instagram, right? But you can find both of them on LinkedIn. Yeah, but Hamza has an Instagram, and I'm sure he will get back to you. So that is the main thing. But if you have any questions for what we just talked about, then it's best to do it now. But while you guys start typing, I do want to say that this has been the last episode of season 1 of AI workshops. There's now a season because I decided to up this series and make it even more cool and fun for season 2. So this is closing of the season 1. We will be taking a short break from the AI workshops because I'm revamping it. I'm like taking it up a notch. You know, like I'm always trying to better myself and my content. So get ready for some nice stuff, probably around December or mid-November for me. We're going to go head on into AI with even more interactive, fun sessions, and hopefully even better produced now than our lovely Zooms. But it has been definitely pleasure having you all. I've learned so much. I'm gonna go back to the chat because I promised to ask the questions of the people. There is a recording of the webinar. Yeah, I said that before. You can look at it on my YouTube. You can Google my name, or there's also hold on. Sorry, I don't mean this to be a plug for my YouTube, but everyone's asking about the recording of this. So where is it? Here. 1 second. Yeah, you can scan this and then you get to my YouTube, and this is where you can find the recording of the Zoom. But do we have any other questions for the AI? Is there a mailing list? Maybe I should do a mailing list. I don't have a mailing list yet, but I might. So your email is already there, John. I'm gonna find you, don't worry. That sounded really creepy. Okay. If there are no more questions, guys, I want to thank our guests. As always, I'm gonna clap, but everyone else is welcome to clap on their computers. I think this has been so amazing. Thank you so much, Elvin and Hamza. Hamza, for your amazing demonstration, as always,
Yeah,
and
thank you, Maria.
Elvin for the incredible insights into the industry and what actually is like relevant right now. I think you've been such a great addition to the Zoom, and I'm so excited to see what happens in the future and how AI keeps evolving. I'll definitely keep in touch with you guys to see how we keep developing this tool. So thank you all so much. Everyone's also saying thank you, and make sure to follow our guests on their social media. I'll post it on my story as well, and I will see you guys in season 2. Goodbye,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank you, Maria. It sounds
Bye.
very exciting.
Goodbye.
Yeah, it's going to be